Okay, guys, I'm back with part two. So here's just a couple of tips. With the little tiny needle that comes with your kit, if you ever find that, that you just want to smooth the edges, we do all of this prior to shipping. But what I found is taking an emery board and even perhaps some beeswax, right? That it really kind of, it made it more smooth. So these are just some tips that you could definitely, that you could do, and that might help the process with the needle gliding a little bit more easy when you're working with it. So just a little tippy tip. So I'm going to put that to the side. So we already have our warps, and I'm going to be using the needle as I just mentioned, and I'm also going to be using the cutest comb ever. So stinking cute. And to get started, I just took about a yard or so of some yarn and I threaded it. And so when I get started, as you can see, I have the needle in my right hand and I have the little scoop faced away from me. And so just watch what I do right here. So I come under and I'm just kind of like scooping. See how I do that? I'm just scooping and I'm going under, over, and then all the way out. Okay. So I'm going to pull that all the way out and I'm going to leave a tail. And then here was another one of those moments where it was like, well, are you tying? And yeah, I'm going to tie. It's such a little area to work in here. So bear with me. Okay, here, I'm just going to move my arm this way and just grab that. Oh, there we go. Okay, and yeah, just, however we get there. So little tie, and then let's come back into the camera, and then I'm going to take my comb and I scooch it up. Oh, I just love that. It's so stinking cute. All right, perfect. Look at beautiful, right? Let me bring that up to the camera a little bit better. Whoopsie. Okay, awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back the other direction. So once again, I have my needle and I'm coming under, right? And how do I know to come under? So you see how this piece of yarn right here, whoops, not in the camera, sorry about that, not in the view. This last time that when I was weaving, right? So the yarn is laying over the last warp. So now it needs to come under. So I'm coming under, scooping, and under, over. And this is how come too, we want to leave those warps a little bit loose. When I teach you how to bead on the, the original looms, it's all about the tightness of the warps. But because we're looming, we're weaving on a flat surface here, we have to keep our warps just a little bit loose. So I'm going to pull that through, and you just want to be conscious right there because, of how much strength you're pulling, because you don't want to like distort the warps. So you can scooch up with your comb, and then you saw how it was kind of like, had a little excess there. So just going to pull a little bit tighter. It's so pretty when it starts to come together. So again, this weft is laying on top of the warp, so it signals me to go under. So we're going to come under, right? Under, over, over. And you're just doing this, right? You're just going back and forth. And the key is just to really help guide that yarn. We're going to scooch it up, and you can see I have a little excess. So that signals me to pull just a little bit tighter, and we're going to scooch that up, and we can see our beautiful weave coming together. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let's just do a couple more rows, and you can make, this pattern, this design is completely what you would like it to be. If you have a little trouble getting under there, you can help it. And yep, so we're just pulling through, get our little tails out of the way, take our comb, Scooch that up. Once again, I can see I have some excess over here, so I'm just going to pull it ever so slightly. Take the comb again. See, look at that pattern coming together. Isn't that beautiful? I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let's just do one more for giggles. Under, right? Scoop in, and beautiful. All right, so let's pull that through. And we're going to take the comb, scooch it up. I could see I have a little excess, so I'm going to pull a little bit tighter, scooch it up again with the comb. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop. And what I would do, right, trim the end, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to tie a little knot. And I'm going to leave the tail because remember, in the end, like you saw how I think Sarah added some beads to her little ends. And so that's always fun. You could do something like that. Let's just scooch everybody up. So yeah, so that's creating your wefts, or you'll hear us talking about weaving. It's the same thing, right? I just want to scooch that over a little. Let me just clean that up. I'm being particular now. All right, so that's part 2, y'all. Check it out, right? Got it? There's a knot over here. There's a knot over here. We're going to leave all the excess tail. And then when I come back in part 3, we're going to do those raya knots. Let me just bring this one in really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So, whoa, there they are. That's part 3. Okay, I'll see you again.